Yeah, have a lot of stuff to upload. But I am back once again, this time with a review of a re-review of the NECA Child's Play Ultimate Chucky figure. Now, this is the original release, not the reissue, which has much better paint and whatnot. Right here, it has a much better paint, and as you notice, I am missing one knife, and that's the voodoo knife. Unfortunately, it's in luggage or something, but I'm an idiot, okay? But this will do for now. So there's the figure right here. There is the box that for some reason wants to fall and feels heavy and sturdier than the rest. So as you can see, Child's Play on the side. You get the side of the box. It's like an actual Good Guys box. On the other side, same thing. On the top, warning, choking hazard. On the bottom, there's a UPC. And on the back, there's no read-up of the figure, but you do get awesome product shots of the figure itself. And then, there we go. There's the front of the box with a product shot of Chucky and where the figure would be, and a very bad, boring background. So anyways, let's get on to it with this review. So I'm going to start out with the Chucky, well, not the Chucky head, the good guy head, considering, you know, that's what it came with the box. But I will talk about the other head soon. But the paint and the sculpt on this figure is actually really well done. Starting off with the head, it's well done, but also has maybe some problems. For example, I think the hair wasn't this bright of, I think, an orange. That's why it looks a little too noticeable. But it looks nice. And yeah, look at those eye paint. It looks really good. And it looks like an actual doll. Yeah, look at that. The hair, it's nicely well sculpted. But it's just the paint on it just looks a little off. Moving on to the outfit. There is a better version. Again, the reissue, there is a much more brighter, darker outfit. I think that's supposed to replicate his look from the other movies, but I think this is a little bit more accurate considering, you know, it is a little bit brighter, but maybe not this bright, because then if you could see, it does clash a little weirdly with the legs. So, but yeah, you could see all the details, all the hammers and whatnot. And it doesn't look very lazy. It looks very nicely well painted. And look at that. The arms, they're also nicely painted, striped. And even the paint on the stripes is carried over to the arms itself, which is nicely well done. Again, and then the hands, they have this plastic hand-like feel, which is awesome. If I compare this to the Bride of Chucky one, where I'll do that soon, the hands are completely different. Besides this, there's a scar here. They're also a little bit more like a human skin color than here, where it looks more like a toy, which is the point. But yeah, the paint is really nicely well done, as you could see. And there's some nice wrinkling detail too. And I like the fact that this is a flexible piece, so that means he has more articulation. Missed opportunity though for the shoes, because they were sculpted in the movie, but it is nice that NECA did try to add like the white on there. And he does have holes, so that means he could stand if you have a NECA base by any chance. But man, look at that. See, this is effort. See, I can't do this, so I can't do this type of paint because it's so frustrating. But it is nice that NECA's able to do something like that. But I think the main but honestly, this head I don't usually use unless if, you know, I'm displaying him with the box, which I usually don't because I display it open. So, the other alternate heads he comes with are a more traditional Chucky head. Expression is a little questionable, same with the eyes, but I think this is a really good head. It works well as just, you know, a classic Chucky, and this could work. But in terms of like if you're going for very accurate, you know, if this was Child's Play 2 or Child's Play 3, this is very inaccurate. But if this was like this was like the first Child's Play, then this is good. This is a good head. And this is a good standard Chucky head too. And then moving on to the Bride of Chucky head. Again, different eye paint in a sense, but you could see he has all these, you can see the hair, which is nicely well sculpted, but again, they still have the same problem. But look at all the detail and all the gore on that. It just looks so nice. All the innards. And then we get probably one of my favorite heads, the Curse of Chucky head. It is the Curse of Chucky head because the Bride of Chucky head has a very distinct shape to it. Once I'll do a photo gallery and I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, very distinct. But at the time, this was the only like stitched up Chucky look, and this still works as like a stitched up Chucky. So yeah, it's nicely well done. Now moving on to the other accessories. Besides just these alternate hands, he comes with 2 gripping hands right here. They actually fit a little bit better than that of the actual other hands. So you could just hold a weapon like this. He also has what looks like another type of opening hand. I don't know what this would be for. So yeah, and he also has the knife arm from Child's Play 2. That is actually really cool. A little bent, yeah, maybe, but it is cool. And if you want to see, and I'll probably get the wrong side, you have to pull the arm and then just stick it in. So you now has the knife arm from Child's Play 2. Such a cool feature. And you know what? I'm going to do this off camera. Muscle to pull this thing off. Man, I need to work out more. But if you want to switch out the hands, just simply gently pop it off and then pop back in. Pop this in. I think it's a lot more like strenuous on the Bride of Chucky one because it feels so weirdly stiff. But if you want other accessories, he comes with the fake. I think this is the gun from Child's Play 2. I think. This is like a fake gun, so he was like trying to intimidate one of the people, I think it was a secretary? I don't know. I'll do it with this head, because I don't like that head. So, there you go. So, he has a razor from Child's Play 3 that cannot hold in this hand. It can hold on the other hand, though. He has a hunting or a combat knife that, yes, I did break the handle a little bit. And it fell again. And then he has I think this was Kyle's knife from Child's Play 2. It works well. And again, it falls apart. It falls. So don't leave the figure with the weapon for too long, because then the plastic may occasionally bend and you can't get the accessories to hold, or you could probably forcefully pry it in. But yeah, look at that. He has the combat. Well, he has Kyle's knife, and with a combat knife, there you go. And then with, please don't break, the razor. He holds on this one pretty well. He also has the hammer from the first movie. It's nicely well done. Occasionally I do get this confused with any other accessory, with any other hammer, because I have like the Halloween 2 Michael and Halloween H4O Michael where they have a hammer, but this one is like very distinct. And then he also has a baseball bat from the first Child's Play. This could work also with your Marvel Legends figure too. And he has a ruler or a meter stick. And the detail on this thing is actually really cool. You can see all the numbers and whatnot. And NECA didn't have to do that, but they did. So you can have him holding this, even though I don't usually see this. And of course, how can I not mention, he has a traditional knife. Although weirdly with a brown handle and a weird looking blade, it does look nice on Chucky. So yeah, it works. Alright, now let's move on to the articulation, which was a big improvement over the previous one, in my opinion. Alright, this is another take. but if you could call it that. But I forgot to mention he has this fold-out box that you could basically slide the figure in. And this could store all the accessories, one, because that's how I was able to get everything to the review table, but also, look at that. It's so cool. Maybe it's a little, wide, too wide, unlike the movie, but it's cool that NECA actually decided to include this. It's so cool. It's really cool. It's like a little box. And then he just busts out of it. All right, now let's move on to the figure's articulation, as promised. So with this figure's articulation, he kind of has quite a lot. And I will move this camera back. He has a ball joint at the head, but he has no disc hinge. This is straight up just a ball joint. He can look up this far. He can look down this far. He can tilt, and he can rotate freakishly. He has arm articulation. Can go 360 in and out. A single jointed elbow, which is fine. He also has a double joint. He has a swivel on there, a swivel there, if you could call it a bicep swivel. Has a ball jointed wrist. Man, I did not like when NECA started doing ball jointed wrists on their Predator figures, because then changing their hands makes it so terrifying. He has actually more articulation here at the waist, probably more so than the Bride of Chucky one, so that's why he can bend back more, bend forward more, tilt, no waist swivel. His leg can kick up this far, back this far. You can make a thigh swivel, but at the same time, maybe not really. He can kick to the side. He has a swivel on the knee, and a single joint, a really deep single joint at the knee, and he has a ball jointed feet. Posability is actually really good for a figure this size. It gets the job done, and it probably does more so than that, considering you can actually get really good poses with this figure despite his size. So yeah, it's really good in terms of articulation. You can, maybe there's some limitations or some things that people could wish they could have expected, but it's really good. Really, 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 really good. All right, now let's move on to the size comparisons. Here stands at roughly 4 inches, and as promised, I will do a comparison with 2 horror characters, 2 of my favorites. I think Chucky's probably like my 3rd favorite or like 4th favorite like slasher, because it's always Leatherface who comes in, even though his movies are really bad. But anyways, here he is compared to the Freddy vs. Jason, which is a huge figure. And here he is with the NECA Halloween 2018, or as I usually call it, the Halloween H4O Michael Myers. The biggest comparisons. Here he is with Tiffany. I think they did collaborate together in the Chucky TV show. I haven't seen the TV show, actually. Man, I need to watch my shows. But yeah, they scale really nicely. But the most significant of them all, she face planted, is this guy. The Bride of Chucky. Again, they're the same mold, which is fine considering, they're roughly the same design. I say roughly because, he looks very stitched up. The colors are a little bit mismatched on the sleeves. There's, of course, a lot more wear and tear on the figure. And just look at the outfit. The outfit is darkened, which is a little bit more consistent with his pants. And, of course, look at the head. And if you want to, here's an actual comparison to the Curse of Chucky head. Yeah, these are 2 very different heads. As you can plainly see, one has actually much more, little bit browner hair than the other, and has a lot more stitches than the other. And of course, look at the skin tone. Again, no racism, but he has less, it's more human-like than a doll-like. So, yeah, looks really good. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to cut that bit out, but anyways, yeah, it's nicely well done. Nice, this figure's good, but let's move on to the final thoughts on what I think about this figure. So, hold on, let me fix this real quick. Buy now, skip, or wait for a deal, which is surprising when I usually say that because, I would say just skip because, you know, it's an older figure. However, this figure has been reissued with a much better color scheme, in my opinion. And honestly, I actually suggest you get the reissue. But either way, this figure is good. It's really good as just, again, a standard Child's Play figure. Bride of Chucky is a good figure, don't get me wrong. It's a good 2-pack alone, but this figure is not bad either. You have a good array of accessories, which is insane for the price. You have a really great articulated and well sculpted and painted Chucky figure, and you have a very good amount of play factor. Again, although you would lose accessories. If just be careful with the accessories, and most of all, you know, the hair occasionally would be a little off. So yeah, there's that. But I don't think this figure is that bad. Between which one I'd rather choose, I mean, I could be a little biased and say I prefer Bride of Chucky, considering that was my first Child's Play movie, but I think this is good enough too. But honestly, if you want to buy more, go for it. I mean, if you've seen Cult of Chucky, if you've seen, you know, Curse of Chucky or you know, the Chucky TV show, you would already know that there's more than one Chucky. So it's fine just having so many, if you can find one for a good price, because, you know, this figure is very, you know, because, you know, stocks. But again, I think this figure is also good too. And even though I do prefer this one in my opinion, I think this one is also a good one too for just a standard horror collection. So anyways, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you all next time with a double review. And this one has been in a long time coming. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.